Hello and welcome to Whittles Field here in Severn. It's Championship Saturday here in the MIAA, and we will get started with the B Conference Final. It's Pilati and St. Paul's competing for the trophy. I'm Tyler Lochte. He's Jordan Johnson. We've got a packed day of football here today, and we're going to crown some champions.
No doubt, Championship Saturday, 2 rematches. It should be a fun Saturday for football.
So St. Paul's will be kicking this away here to Pilati. Austin Daniel, the junior, is set to kick this away. And when I spoke with Neil Keenan, head coach of this St. Paul's team earlier in the week, he told me you have to keep the ball away from number 1, Kareem Fisher, who is back deep here for Pilati, alongside Kamal Fisher, his brother. Both of them hold offers from Army.
No doubt, Kareem Fisher, really the do-it-all guy for this Pilati team on offense and defense. They want to keep the ball out of his hands as much as possible. Should be a fun one to watch.
So the Fisher bros are back deep. Austin Daniel gets us going with a low kick here. It's going to roll into the hands of Kamal Fisher. And Kamal Fisher is going to take off up the middle, running through tacklers and across the 50-yard line. A great start here for Pilati. A flag, however, is down on the far side of the field.
You keep the ball away from Kareem, but Kamal is pretty big himself. Look at him on that return. Obviously, you understand the squib to try to keep it away from Kareem, but Pilati's going to get good field position to start off, and maybe even some more potentially with the flag.
So that is going to go against St. Paul's. I believe that's going to be added at the end of the run.
And that's huge. This Pilati team wants to get off to a fast start. Then on the other side for St. Paul's, they're looking to get off to a fast start themselves. It was a little bit slow last week in their game against John Carroll, so not great so far for them, but should be an interesting one. These two teams played to a one-point game the last time they played, 27-26, so this one could go either way.
All right, so here is this Panther offense led by Xavier Brookings, the senior. 19 touchdowns and 5 interceptions for him on the year. He's going to hand it off here to Bodie on the first play, and not much going there for number 11. Runs right into the teeth of this St. Paul's defense.
Yeah, Bodie's going to get a lot of run today. They're leading rusher for this Pilati team, but at the same time, too, Brookins can throw the ball out over 1,500 yards on the year, so be excited to see their approach against this St. Paul's D-line.
Yeah, there really is some talent on this St. Paul's defense. Johnny Miles, big number 55, right up the middle. He's certainly a guy to look out for. Holds 10 collegiate offers, including a few from some FCS schools. This linebacking group is also very talented. Brookings is going to drop back to pass for the first time. Pressure comes. Brookings takes off down the far side at the 10 and out at around the 3. A big run there for Xavier Brookings. 28 carries for just 27 yards this year, a lot of them sacks. But this time he shows off the wheels.
Well, I like the quick decision-making. As soon as he sees open grass, he doesn't even think about it, just goes right to it, takes it himself. Nice decision-making there from the senior quarterback.
That is his longest carry of the year. Before that, it was 20. That one good for a big-time gain. And now Pilati are set up really, really well. St. Paul's fans making some noise. Handoff goes to Bodie. He looks to follow his blockers. He lost the football, but it will be Pilati who jump on it. It looks
St.
like
Paul's
on the far
is trying to make
side.
an argument that they had it. Usually tie goes to the offense.
Yeah, that is who else but Kareem Fisher jumping on the ball on the far side.
Get another look at it. See, there was a bunch of St. Paul's defenders in the mix there. Hard to see who forced it. But it was a tie. And tie goes to the offense, so that's why Pilati will keep the ball.
Good heads-up play there by Kareem Fisher. Fisher really the only option on the outside. Here's Bodie up the middle again, and Again, Fisher this season 54 catches. Behind him, the only other healthy receiver with more than one is Darnell Cogdell.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see who else they can get involved in this passing game. But then on the other side for St. Paul, so far, a good stand here after getting blown up on that quarterback run to start the game. You obviously don't like the penalty on special teams, but if this D-line can hold up here on a big third down, that's huge.
This is a big-time play. Ball is at the 5. It's third down and goal here for Pilati. Jumbo package trying to get St. Paul's to jump. Handoff goes to Bodie, and he is swallowed up. St. Paul's with a big-time stop. That's Kyron Wheeler getting in there and making the tackle. And it's fourth down coming up.
And how about Liam Bargaski for the second play in a row getting in the mix there? He was in there late, but still 2 plays in a row where he's kind of made his impact known here. He was a player to watch for this St. Paul's defense, and interesting by Pilati going for this early fourth down here, trying to get some early momentum against a team that they lost to earlier in the year. Obviously, it's championship game. This is a big one early on.
Fourth down and goal. Pilati need 5. St. Paul's want to stop. Brookings will look to pass. Near side. It's incomplete. He was looking for Kamal Fisher.
Interesting call there, throwing it on fourth down. If you were going to throw it, thought you might have wanted to do it on third. That's an interesting call there, Tyler. Pilati fans were looking for a flag. I didn't see anything. I think it's just the neck and neck between the receiver and the quarterback. And here comes this St. Paul's offense with Eli Livingston back in the lineup after missing last week's semifinal.
St. Paul's are backed up at their own 5-yard line. Eli Livingston is back in at quarterback. Missed the last game with an injury. He will hand it off here on the first play, and it's a big run for Lamar West. Senior handing it off to another senior there.
Yeah, this offense really runs through Lamar West. He is the heart and soul of this St. Paul's team. Obviously, when he was able to get going early on last week against John Carroll, this offense started rolling, and then when they kind of hit a lull a little bit, came back in the second half, it was really on his back. So they're going to have to get him early and often, get the ball to him.
That carry there put Lamar West at over 600 yards on the season. Only has one 100-yard game against Mount Carmel. However, he did have 97 against Pilati earlier this year in a game that was won by St. Paul's by just 1 point. A short carry there is going to set up second and long.
Yeah, good play there by Louis Matthews getting in that backfield, getting right to West.
So second down, and it's called 7 here for St. Paul's. Boy, are they happy to have Livingston back. He will drop back to throw. Pressure comes. His pass is going to fall incomplete. He was looking for Landon Blue.
Again, it was Matthews in that backfield disrupting things for this St. Paul's offense. It's the second play in the row where they've just let him had a straight line for that backfield. So that's something that the St. Paul's offensive line is definitely going to want to clean up there, especially if they want to get a guy like Eli Livingston going, who's, again, as we mentioned, back after missing last week. Have to wonder if there's a rust factor there. But obviously you want your best guy in there for a championship game.
Eli Livingston is headed to Maryland to play baseball. And the quarterback is going to drop back and fire down the far side. He wants Andrew Cooper, and he floats it over his head. Cooper is far and away the leader of this team receiving-wise, nearly 800 yards. But quarterback and Cooper cannot connect there. That's going to set up a punt.
Yeah, no doubt both of these guys seniors. Obviously there's a connection there, good chemistry between those two, but weren't quite able to find it yet on third down. So another slow start for the St. Paul's offense, and going to be interesting to see. At least they didn't turn the ball over, especially that deep, and just have to punt it off to put Pilati into, and hopefully some not great field position. But if you're a Pilati fan, you love this.
Howdy Calhoun just gets the punt away to Kareem Fisher. Oh, it took a touch off his leg. That's going to be St. Paul's ball. Justice Lasser fell on it, and it's a miscue from the B Conference's best player that sets up the Crusaders.
Yeah, that's one he's going to want back. Thought he might should have tried to call for a fair catch there. You see it, ball just hits the leg. St. Paul's coverage unit all over it. Buys themselves an extended drive. That's huge early in this game.
So Pilati, they cough it up. St. Paul's get it right back.
And that's a play that you rarely see a guy like Fisher make. One that he's certainly going to want back.
Let's see what Eli Livingston and this Crusader offense can do. Livingston's going to hand it off. Up the middle goes Lamar West. And that is a solid gain on first down. Jordan, St. Paul's just really want to stay ahead of the sticks here.
No doubt. They're going to keep feeding Lamar West just like they did last week early in the game. Get him going. That's what really allowed this offense to flourish. And expect to see that again.
Livingston cleared just yesterday to play today. Missed last week with an injury. Wide receiver Jackson Angelou Bartlett had to step up and play quarterback in his stead. Handoff is going to go up the middle again here for West. And it's going to be third down here and short. Gain of maybe one, and that's going to set up third down, and let's call it 3.
Be interesting to see what they do here. Maybe a little quick screen game with Angelo Bartlett, or if they just want to keep this on the ground with West. Maybe set up a potential fourth down if they don't make it here.
Right, you're kind of in no man's land here. There's St. Paul's. You might think about going for it here, especially if you can get a short gain. Handoff is fake. That's Livingston over to the far side. His pass is going to be caught for a first down. Just past the sticks, there's Jackson Angelou Bartlett. So the quarterback of the season throws to St. Paul's quarterback last week for a first down.
I like that. Get your quarterback out in space. Give him options. Kind of had a short, intermediate, and deep option. He chose the intermediate route, and that got him a first down.
Angelou Bartlett, 9 of 20 for 168 yards, a touchdown, and a pick in relief of Livingston last week. Most importantly, he got the win.
That was a tough John Carroll team they faced last week.
It's West up the middle. He's going to get maybe one, and it's going to set up second down and 9.
Second down.
Again, this is a really senior-heavy St. Paul's team, a team that would love to cap off their careers with a 10-win season. More importantly, the MIAA B Conference title.
No doubt, only one loss in the year, and it was in the non-conference. So
it's the first game of the year.
Yeah, against St. Albans, and then they've pretty much been able to coast the rest of the way. They've had some close calls, like obviously beating Pilati by 1. The game against John Carroll last week only.
Livingston fires near side, and it's going to be caught by Landon Blue. And that is going to bring St. Paul's within 3 yards of a first down.
How about the way he high-pointed that ball, jumping up and getting that pass? Good play by, again, another senior in Landon Blue.
St. Paul's has it at the 25. They need to get to a 22 for the first down. Handoff is going to go up the middle. That's West, and he is going to get awfully close. Let's see what the refs will decide. They're going to say that's going to be a first down.
Good stretch there by Lamar West to get that extra yardage. And you see St. Paul's very methodical on this drive. Obviously, you want to burn as much clock as possible, keep the Pilati offense, because we know how explosive they can be off the field as well. So kind of getting 2 things done in one drive here.
Lots of options here. Wide for Livingston. He's going to take the snap. Pressure comes. He throws it over the middle, and that's going to be caught. What a play by Aiden Gilmer. Just his 3rd catch of the year as he goes up and gets it.
Yeah, Gilmer played that like a DB. He also plays DB for this St. Paul's team, and that was a little bit of a dangerous throw there, but because he's got those hands, is able to go high point the ball there. Again, almost had to play that like a DB. Don't love the throw, but hey, if it's going to get it done, then it's going to get it done at the end of the day.
St. Paul's need to get to the 12 to move the chains. Second down and 3 here from the 15. Livingston fires near side. That's Gilmer again. Down at the 10. That will move the chains, and it's going to be goal to go here for the Crusaders.
They're picking on that sophomore cornerback, David Hearn. That's something to watch throughout the game. Is they back-to-back plays, picking on 17.
So new set of downs, and we'll officially mark this ball at the 9-yard line. St. Paul's looking to take the lead here with 3 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Handoff is going to go to Blue, up the middle, and in is Landon Blue. St. Paul's strike first in the title game.
How about the big boys getting it done? Pretty much opening things up for Landon Blue there. It was all on the backs of their blocking. All he had to do was go right up the middle. It doesn't get much easier than that for the running back, or I should just call him pure athlete. Receiver, running back, DB. Landon Blue got it done there on that play. And shout out to the big boys opening up that hole for him.
Wayne Clark is in for the extra point. So after the muffed punt, St. Paul's capitalized with 7 on the board.
And a nice long drive for that 7. Get another look at this touchdown here. Again, it's the big boy setting that up, that blocking. All Blue has to do is essentially walk in for it. It's not going to get much easier than that throughout this game. And a good start for this St. Paul's offense after being down deep in their own territory.
Blue is such a dynamic player, Jordan. Over 25 carries and 25 catches on the year for number 3.
No doubt. You know, as we talked about throughout the MIAA season, a lot of these guys that can play both ways, play multiple positions on offense and defense. Blue is a guy that also plays defensive back for this St. Paul's team, and it just speaks to the athletes in this league and how versatile they are.
Fisher brothers are back again, and again it's going to be a bouncer. This time it will be scooped up in the middle of the field there by Braxton Brady, a running back, and he is going to go down just across the 40-yard line. But again, good field position here for Pilati.
Good field.
And you could tell that they are just trying everything they can to keep the ball out of the hands of the Fisher brothers.
Exactly. That's what Neil Keenan said. He wanted to keep it away from Kareem Fisher. Obviously, it was Kamal that blew them up on the last kickoff. But also on this St. Paul's team, I'm going to give credit to Liam Bargansky. He's been everywhere on defense and on special teams, making the tackle there on the coverage unit. If there's a play, 35's involved.
St. Paul's fans making some noise here before the first down snap. Modi is in motion. The handoff is going to go to Mason Glasgow, and he will pick up a short gain. St. Paul's with all the momentum right now. They had the goal line stand and then a muffed punt, and now they lead it 7-zip.
Again, playing with the lead, obviously, it helps your defense. It's rested after that long drive, and it'll be interesting to see what Pilati draws up now, trying to play with the clock on their own now.
So it looks like referees having a conversation, stop the clock at 2:34 left to go here in the B Conference title game. Seeing the ball on the ground for a majority of this one on both sides. See if that's the case here again. Mason Glasgow's back in there. Instead, it's a throw far side, just out of reach for Kareem Fisher. They're really trying to get the ball to number 1.
No doubt, nice little run-pass option there, but Fisher couldn't come down with it. It was almost dangerous right there at the end as Fisher dropped it and blew. And guess who? It was Landon Blue on the backside of that. Almost came up with a pick for St. Paul's.
Landon Blue, who just scored a rushing touchdown at the other end.
And a big third down here for Pilati.
3rd down and 7 here for the Panthers. Trying not to fall behind early to St. Paul's, who have won 9 games in a row. Handoff is going to go here to Mason Glasgow, and he's awfully close. A powerful run is enough to move the chains.
And it was the delay that got the defense there. They were ready for the run, but that just slight delay in the handoff there allowed this Pilati offensive line to get set, get that blocking scheme going.
I also think it was a good design there
yep, exactly.
by Tony Ashley to put Bodie in motion. Just throw another wrinkle at this St. Paul's defense for them to worry about. Shahad Mason Glasgow is back there again after a very impressive last run. Stepping up is Brookings. He's going to look to run again. Far side. He's going to get around 6 yards.
Good run for Brookings, but on the back side of that, Karan Wheeler went down for St. Paul's. He's okay.
8 of 6. 2nd down.
Again, the quick decision making from Brookings.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 4 here for Pilati. As Brookings went out of bounds, that stopped the clock. St. Paul's fans making a lot of noise. And that is snuffed out by this St. Paul's defense. They tried to get tricky there with the handoff, but Rashad Jones blew it up.
Fool me one time, shame on you. You're not going to fool me twice. They went to that delayed handoff again, and this time the St. Paul's D-line was ready. As you mentioned, Rashad Jones right there. He wasn't getting fooled there.
Lamar West also in the backfield there on that play. And again, you're going to see a lot of names on both sides.
These guys do not come off the field, just pure athlete.
Over on the far side, it's Bodie, and he's going to be ripped out of bounds. That's going to be a face mask and a 1st down for Pilati.
That was perfect execution from the St. Paul's defense for about 99% of that play until the end.
Yeah. Getting into the backfield there was Karen Wheeler.
That's one that Lamar West is going to regret. Oh, man. You're right there. You have the runner going out of bounds. You just let him walk out. You don't even need to make it. You like the hustle out of the kid, but that's not a play you need to make. And it's a costly one at that.
So a new set of downs here for the Panthers, who are now inside the 30. Rod Mason Glasgow is the back here again. Fisher brothers are outside. Brookings is going to fire near side. It's knocked away. Great play by Will Cole.
How about the linebacker Will Cole out there in coverage against Bodie, the running back? A little bit of pressure on the quarterback, but that's all Will Cole making a play.
Nice play by number 9 in dark blue for the Crusaders. So that stops the clock with 40 seconds left to go. Pilati, 2nd down and 10. After a really, really good defensive play by Will Cole.
Expect some sort of an RPO here.
Handoff is going to go to Mason Glasgow. And again, this St. Paul's D-line stands tall.
They're holding up really well early on, led by Karan Wheeler getting things done. And it seems like when number 11 gets to the backfield, they all follow.
So now it's going to be 3rd down and 8. Let's see if Pilati decide to run a play here before this first quarter is over. That clock is really starting to wind down, and it looks like
Would be a
Pilati are just going to wait.
little bit of gamesmanship. Wait till the last few seconds there.
Now they're going to hurry to the line. Let's see if they get a play off here.
St. Paul's D-line should watch out here. It's a perfect opportunity to jump.
Brookings opts to leave it, and we will head to the second quarter. Stick with us here on Hype Time Sports. And we welcome you back to the MIAA B Conference Championship game. St. Paul's up by 7 after the first. Now we will see this Pilati Panther team facing a 3rd down and 9. And again, Jordan, this is the second time they've been to this end of the field. Got to turn it into points. Let's see if they can move the chains here. Brookings takes the snap. He's going to look for the end zone. He wants Fisher, and he almost found him.
Ooh, Justice Laster staying with the receiver even after he got beat. He just went toe for toe. You be the judge at home. I might have saw some hands there. That's why we're not officials. It's an obvious throwing down in the stadium. Everyone knows they're throwing the ball, but
yeah, that looked like a great throw by Brookings. I don't know where else you could put that. So if you're St. Paul's, you see that and you say great defense. If you're Pilati, you see that and maybe you see a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. But it was a great route ran. You just got to finish it.
4th down and 9. Pilati are 0 for 1 on 4th down tonight. They would love to convert this and keep this drive alive. Brookings is going to take the snap. He's going to look near side for Fisher, who couldn't hang on, but there is the flag.
That one's going to get called every time. First, the ball hit the ground incomplete, but obviously with Blue getting the hands in there.
So that will move the chains.
He had the ref right there. He could see it. The Pilati fans thinking they're maybe getting one back.
So they're going to call holding, not pass interference there. Either way, it's an automatic 1st down.
And that's huge for Pilati. Because that would have affected the momentum. You get that Pilati offense off the field and give it back to St. Paul's. You're talking about a big swing there. Now Pilati's got another chance to tie this thing up.
Fisher brothers are outside. Brookings claps once, now twice, and there goes the whistle. I think that's going to be a false start. So Pilati now going backwards after being gifted the 1st down on the penalty.
As you hear the student section saying that they can't do that, they are correct. For this Pilati offense, you can't do that because now you're putting yourself in an obvious throwing situation here.
It's now 1st down and 15 here for the Panthers. Brookings is going to hand it off and trying to put his head down and hustle hard is Jaden Patterson, the sophomore, who gets run out of bounds.
The linebacker, Will Cole, there Had his eyes on the running back the entire time. Textbook tackle there. You can't ask for more for your defense there on first down.
They will give him no yards on that play. And it looks like Patterson is a little bit banged up.
Of course, we all know of another famous Patterson that was at Pilati, and Jarrett played at University of Buffalo, set many records there. Had a cup of coffee with the Washington Commanders.
Pilati's having a problem right now with their helmets. I've seen a few times now the helmet's fallen off, which means you have to go to the sideline for a play. It's happened a few times to some of their O-linemen. I think Alfred Taylor is out for this play because of it. Handoff goes up the middle for Bodie, and he runs right into a wall. That's Bobby Cunningham, and now a flag flies on Rashad Jones.
Are they going to...
It was Jones and Cunningham who got back there. That's going to be taunting on big number 65, and that's going to move the chains. That's the second first down, Jordan, given out by this St. Paul's defense on this drive.
You be the judge at home. To me, that just looks like a kid playing with passion and finishing.
Refs are going to talk about it.
Was it a little late? Yes, but that's a D lineman just making a play. I don't know about that one, Siler.
After deliberation, refs will say it's going to be a personal foul, and that ball's going to move way down the field. Excuse me, it is still third down, but much shorter.
It was only a 5-yard penalty. That's an interesting call.
So Pilati's going to have to get to the 9-yard line for a new set of downs.
Watch the matchup between Laster and the bigger
say,
Fisher at the top of your
fourth down
screen.
Here coming up. It's a trick play, and it's swallowed up. There's Lamar West in the backfield to drag down Brady and give St. Paul's their second red zone stop of the day.
Coming off that big momentum penalty, I am shocked Pilati ran it there against this St. Paul's D line. That was all West there getting into the backfield from his safety spot, but I'm frankly shocked that Pilati ran the ball in that play. For St. Paul's, that's a huge fourth down stop.
So twice now, Pilati have gotten inside the 15. They have scored no points.
See what St. Paul's can do once again deep inside their own territory.
10:40 to go here in the first half. The handoff is going to go up the middle. That is Lamar West for a solid gain. He's going to get just across the 15-yard line.
So just like they did last week, they're going to keep feeding West. Again, that's a key to this St. Paul's offense is getting number 5 going. Obviously, he's gotten going from the defensive side of the field. And we saw on that last drive, he really set things up for their passing game. Expect to see a lot of that again.
Here's Livingston dropping back, firing near side. Oh, it was almost intercepted. And that is one Tamir Smith. Zion Graham is going to want back.
Yeah, and that's one that Livingston's going to want back as well. I think he already had it determined in his mind that he was making that throw, and he just didn't get the comeback that he wanted from Angelo Barlett. That's one as a quarterback. Yes, you have the decision made up, but you just have to have the awareness there to see that your receiver hasn't made that turn back yet. But he got lucky there that it didn't get picked off.
They're down and long, and Pilati jumped, and you could see the frustration in Zion Graham on the near side. Penalties really piling up in this game.
Yeah, that I don't know if I'd call this a rivalry, but all these teams both played to a pretty close game, so you know the penalties are going to matter. You're hearing it in the crowd. These penalties could play the difference between a win and a loss here, Tyler, especially as we get further down the stretch.
It's kind of been a war of attrition so far in this game. Both sides, the calls racking up. That's West up the middle, and he's going to be maybe a yard short of the first down. And now it's going to be decision time here for St. Paul's. So, no, they're going to give him the first down, and Pilati not happy with that spot. That's going to move the chains for the Crusaders.
That's a big first down at that.
So Pilati will sub. Now we will see this St. Paul's offense with a new set of downs. Livingston, he's going to drop back to throw again. Pressure comes. He's trying his best to get free, but Foster Anderson dragged him down for a loss.
And how about that Pilati D-line there making things not so great for Livingston? He's got to get that ball out right there. You understand, how about the athleticism trying to get out of that pocket there, but there was just nowhere for him to go.
So a big sack there for Foster Anderson is going to set up second down and very long. St. Paul's on their own 15-yard line. They're going to need to get to the 32 to move the chains. Livingston dropping back to pass again. Pressure coming again. It's thrown up, and this time it is not dropped by Graham. He's got a pick. It's a big play for Pilati.
It started off with the D-line, putting the rush on Livingston. Livingston trying to avoid a safety, just throws it up for grabs. Zion Graham making the play, the senior DB.
Second time number 9 had a chance on this drive. He will not let it go to waste. And Pilati have the ball down on this side of the field here yet again.
And a chance for redemption after that last drive.
Looks like Dylan Johnson is down on the sideline. You could see him there in that last shot. Looks like he's been helped up. Pilati have the ball at the 21-yard line. Brookings is going to hand it off. That's Bodie trying to find a hole, and you better believe Pilati's going to keep trying to establish that run, but right now it's just a hard task against the St. Paul's D-line.
No doubt the St. Paul's D-line is playing very well against this Pilati run so far, and they're going to have to figure it out. Obviously, we know what Pilati can do throwing the ball and potentially drawing penalties with those matchups on the outside. And clearly, they at least want to get in these formations to let the run set up the pass.
That's Bodie. Far side just ran right in to Liam Barganski.
Again, if there's a play to be made, 35 is there. He's playing very well so far. Now you're in an obvious passing situation. Well, I say that, but the last two obvious passing situations, Pilati elected to keep the ball on the ground, so we'll see what they do here.
Third down and long here for Pilati. They do not want this to turn into a theme where they get the ball down the field and they can't cash in. And now a whistle. Looks like a timeout is going to be called here by Pilati. They're going to think things over.
Again, you think this is a passing situation, but if you want to potentially take another crack at running it through this St. Paul's D-line, give yourself a shot on fourth down, you could do that as well. But I think I don't think you even test that here. I think you take your shot at your best matchup Kamal Fisher there, the bigger receiver. I think you let him go one-on-one with a DB and take your chances there.
Kamal Fisher this year coming into this game, by the way, just 2 catches for 30 yards.
But you're seeing the clear size advantage
right
on these St. Paul's DBs.
I also think,
if that
Jordan,
run game is not working,
you're going to see a lot more reps for him on offense because there's nothing to lose. This is the last game of the year.
No doubt.
You've got to have your best guys on the field at all times, and it's clear that St. Paul's is doing that with almost the same 11.
No doubt.
So 3rd down and long here for Pilati again.
Watch the matchup at the bottom of your screen there with Fisher and Blue there.
Brookings, like a man in motion. He's going to drop back to pass. He's going to throw a jump ball for Fisher, who's got it in the end zone. And the flag.
That
wow.
might be coming back. As Fisher had a little bit of a push off there.
You're right. That's going to be on Fisher.
Obvious, and it was not. It was at the top of the route there.
So the touchdown is wiped off the board.
Right there at the line of scrimmage. Obvious push off there, and that hurts for Pilati.
And instead of a touchdown, now Pilati are moving way back.
I like the idea of picking on that matchup, but if you're Fisher, you just can't. You can't push off the DB there. That's going to get called every time. Again, it sucks if you're Pilati because these 50-50 calls haven't been going your way. But you understand what the ref saw there.
Brookings, he's going to drop back, fire it deep again, and it's intercepted. Andrew Cooper, and he's got room to run. Cooper is across the 30. They're trading interceptions here in Severn.
Late flag there at the end of that play. Watch out for it. It's still going to be St. Paul's ball, I believe, but that's just the quarterback throwing it up there and hoping something can happen there on 4th down. You understand it, but obviously you have to go get that many yards. It's going to be tough. We'll see what the penalty is at the end of the play there. I think it came on that as Cooper was running towards that sideline there on the return. And that's huge for St. Paul's.
So from a touchdown to a penalty, and then the interception.
And I think they called a penalty there for the end of that return. There's some pushing and shoving.
So it's St. Paul's football. Handed off here to Lamar West. He's going to dive across the 40. And St. Paul's are already ahead of the chains here on this drive, but hold everything, there's going to be a penalty. I think that's going to be a hold right there on number 75. That's Karsten Carolus. So St. Paul's going backwards here to start this drive. So with 6:41 left to go here in the second quarter, clock is starting up. The 25-yard line. Two backs here for St. Paul's. It's West and Landon Blue. Alex is going to keep it. He's going to fire it downfield, and climbing the ladder is Cooper, but he did not hang on.
And Cooper's hurt there at the end. Came down awkwardly, get another look. Good high point of the ball by Cooper.
Yeah, that ball came out.
Got to finish the catch there on the sideline. Give Cooper credit for the way he was able to high point that ball because that was a dangerous throw. Nice to see him walk off after coming off awkwardly.
So 2nd down and 20. After the hold on 1st down, now an incomplete pass that would have moved the chains. This offense starting slow down here for St. Paul's. The hand up the middle for Blue is only going to get a couple of yards.
Yeah, and that obviously that incomplete pass got this Pilati sideline and this team fired up, make a play on 2nd down there, and now force St. Paul's into a big 3rd down here.
Third down and very long. St. Paul's need 18 yards. Drop it back is Livingston. He fires far side, and it is out of reach. Therefore, Jackson Anglew Bartlett. So a punt is coming here for St. Paul's.
And something to watch out for is that Livingston took a big hit there. He's okay, but
again, remember he was out for the last game injured. Last thing they want to see is him take another shot.
Now Pilati's got the ball, going to get the ball again, and they've had their chances. We'll see if they can finish one off here.
So 5:22 left to go here in the 2nd quarter. St. Paul's will punt it back to Pilati. And the dangerous Kareem Fisher is deep.
But also Fisher had that miscue on the last punt return. He'll want that back.
Punt nearly blocked. Fisher with some room. Can he make some men miss? He goes to the near side and is dragged down by his laces. A great tackle there by Barganski. And now a whistle and a flag.
The Barganski.
And that's going to go against Pilati.
Interesting. We'll see at the replay.
Oh, it's for that hit there
that
late.
Block in the back, yep. Good play by Barganski finishing through, but that block in the back is going to get called every time. Right. Pilati, and you look back, you hope these miscues on special teams don't cost you.
So now the refs are going to figure out where this ball needs to go. It would have been really good field position for Pilati, but after that hit there at the end of that play, that's going to back them up to start this drive. It has not been the cleanest championship game.
But you understand from the ref's point of view, wanting to get these things out in the first half, you obviously don't want the call to decide it late in the game, so you want to clean this stuff up in the first half.
So 5:11 to go here in this 2nd quarter. After that 1st quarter just flew by, Jordan, this 2nd quarter, we're barely halfway through it.
It's hard to believe that this is the deepest territory that Pilati's been in throughout this game, and they still don't have points yet.
After the 15-yard penalty on the punt, Pilati will start it at around their 30, and now they'll get just across the 30-yard line on the run from Clement Bodie. So that's going to bring up 2nd down and 8.
You can essentially, even with a little bit more than 4 minutes, you're Pilati, you can play this as a 4-minute drive and potentially be last to have the ball, which would be huge.
Yeah, Pilati not in any rush here on this drive. They've also got 2 timeouts to work with. Second down and 8. Handoff is going to go over to the far side, and that is a solid carry there for Bodie. And that's going to set up third down and manageable here for the Panthers.
Again, very methodical from Pilati, keeping that ball on the ground, running as much clock off as you can.
Clock is now under 4 minutes. Again, it's just weird, Jordan, to see that clock running down. I feel like we've seen so many incompletions, turnovers, penalties. That clock kept stopping. Now it's really rolling. Panthers looking to keep this drive rolling. Bodie, far side, plenty of room. He's got the first down and more across the 45-yard line.
And this is the game that Pilati wanted to play, is to keep this ball on the ground, keep the clock turning. And it'll be interesting here because when they get good and ready, they'll have an opportunity to turn a quick pass here.
He did step out of bounds, so that will stop the clock at 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to go here in the first half. First down and 10 here for the Panthers, who have had the ball in St. Paul's end 3 times today, have not scored. On the far side, dancing around, that's Brady. A flag is going to fly at the middle of the field.
Brady carries. Flag on the field.
And that's going to be a hold on the Panthers.
Again, it's just the penalties have been killer on both sides.
So that's going to back up Pilati 10 yards, and they are going to have first down and 20 here from their own 35.
You can still play within the game plan here. No need. You don't have to get aggressive yet.
Drop it back here is Brookings. He's going to fire downfield. He wants Fisher. It's intercepted. What a play by Laster. He takes it away. The second pick here for the Crusaders.
That was all Justice Laster. If you're Brookings, you made about as good of a throw as you can make. Had your receiver on the numbers. That's just 7 going up and making a good play. Textbook play. You have another look at this. All the time in the world, you knew they were going to take their shot at some point in this drive. He put that ball where it needed to be put. Laster just played that as if he was the receiver that time and made a big play for St. Paul's.
So Crusader football. Deep in their own territory, but they'll take that over trying to defend. Livingston's going to hand it off up the middle. A nice run on first down from Lamar West.
That's why you got him going early for these situations. Now with 3 minutes, got to get his train turning a little bit and potentially go into the half up 2 scores. That would be big for them momentum-wise.
Yeah, you can't be comfortable at 7-0, especially with how much Pilati has had the football in your own end if you're St. Paul's. Livingston's going to hand it off again to West. West is going to reach the football forward. He's going to be down and around the 18.
And with the success that West is having, might keep this ball on the ground here on third down.
We've hit the 2-minute mark. Livingston. He's going to look near side. It's caught by Angelou Bartlett. And Bartlett is going to roll out of bounds just past the 40. A huge play on third down for the Crusaders.
Good play by Livingston. Angelo Bartlett wasn't the first or second option there. Gives his receiver time to get open. That little bit of a cushion, that little bit of a window that Livingston puts that ball in. Well done to keep this thing rolling for the St. Paul's offense.
Clock is stopped at 1:49 left to go here in the second quarter. And again, if St. Paul's can find a way to get points on the board, remember, Jordan, they start the second half with the football. Livingston, he's going to drop back, quick throw, Angelo Bartlett. He cuts into the middle where he's going to be brought down by Ethan Gilmer. That clock is still rolling as we approach the 90-second mark.
Yeah, now you're in 2-minute mode, so these quick passes. And you go into a guy like Angelo Bartlett, who you know is about as close to a sure thing as you're going to get on this offense.
Livingston looking to throw again. Now he's going to try to run. He's going to loft it down the field. Oh, what a catch by Cooper.
Ooh.
Through two defenders. The big fella goes and gets it. There's a reason why he's the top guy for St. Paul's.
When you have a guy that's that big and has that good of hands, you can make dangerous throws like that. The definition of a 50-50 ball, really a 40-60 ball. And Cooper's just able to come up with it. Great play by number 10.
That's the first down and the first timeout called by St. Paul's here in first half. So they've got time, Jordan, to get down the field and get some points on the board.
And now they're really showing what they can do in the passing game, which is huge. Not only to try and score on this drive, but just heading into the second half where for much of it until this drive, that passing attack was really doormat. To potentially get that going in the second half would be huge.
So Livingston and the offense will head back out there. And again for Pilati, remember the one touchdown in this game was scored after a muffed punt. So plenty of chances the Panthers have had to take the lead here. Livingston's going to drop back to throw again. He's going to fire it downfield. He wants Cooper. He overthrew him, and it was nearly intercepted by Kareem Fisher.
Yeah, dangerous pass by Livingston there. He's lucky he didn't get picked off. There's he overthrew Cooper. You understand wanting to pick that matchup between him and Fisher.
I almost wonder if that last completion maybe not the best thing for St. Paul's because now you have so much confidence Cooper's just going to out-jump anybody. But the Fisher brothers and Zion Graham are very dangerous in the secondary here for Pilati.
And Fisher playing that deep safety.
And you know he wants some do-overs. It has not been his day. Had the muff punt and then an offensive pass interference that took away what would have been a touchdown. Livingston dancing around by the sideline. He fires it downfield. It's going to be caught by Blue, who should have gotten out of bounds, and instead he stayed in.
Good play by the Pilati defense, keeping him inside, keeping him inbounds.
But Landon Blue, he had the sideline to step out, and instead he tried to get some more yards.
Yeah, respect him trying to get more yards, but you just cost your team a timeout there.
Yeah.
For, what, a yard at that?
So the ball is at the 30-yard line. It's going to be third down. That was a big opportunity to stop the clock. Again, if that was the third down play and you're trying to get a first down, then I guess that makes sense. But Blue was about 5 yards short of the line to gain when he made the decision to stay in, and he took a third down and 5 and turned it into a 3rd and 4 with one less timeout.
Yeah, again, that's when you watch back the film, it's just the awareness plays that you want back.
St. Paul's need 4 yards. Livingston trying to find it. Looks deep. Downfield. Tipped up and intercepted by Fisher. Kareem Fisher with a big play for Pilati. And he's going to be dragged down at around the 5.
Dangerous throw there by Livingston, but well played by the DBs on the tip drill. One Fisher tips it to another.
Aiden Gilmer is trying desperately to bring him down as close to the end zone as he can.
Again,
but now Pilati has room to take a knee.
You understand that Livingston wants to make a play there on 3rd down, but you can't throw that pass there with 2 defenders in sight, and both of them being Fishers at that.
That's now the 11th interception thrown by Livingston this year. And again, I would be surprised if Pilati does anything other than just kneel this to end the half, given where they are on the field. And that is exactly what Brookings will do. So at the end of the first half, St. Paul's with just a 7-point lead, a mistake-full half of football, but both these teams very much still in it.
No doubt, it should be a fun second half.
So stick with us here. We will take a quick break and be back for the second half of the B Conference Championship. It's anybody's game. St. Paul's up 7-0 here on Hype Time Sports.
There's a certain type of warm, welcoming environment. That's not only what I felt as a student, but as a Spalding alumni.
That is what the community feels like. Feels like home.
When I first went here in 1966, there was a home ec lab, and now there is a robotics lab.
It's obviously changed so much, but it's still the same.
I carry with me the confidence that was built right here at Spalding.
Look at the people that have graduated from Spalding, and they're well-rounded. They're strong-willed people, and they want to change the world in their chosen professions. I can see through my children, and I'm now hoping my grandchildren's eyes. We're all part of something special.
A legacy.
When I was looking for a school, I was looking for a place that would take me seriously.
Somewhere that felt alive.
Spalding taught me to be a part of something bigger than myself.
I'm very excited about my future. I've been inspired. I've been pushed. I was allowed to find my voice and thrive.
When I think back to my time here, I felt prepared for life.
The education, the experience.
If I had to do it all over again,
I would not change a thing.
And I want that same feeling for my kids.
Welcome to McDonough School, where joy lives and possibilities soar. Here, each day brings new discoveries and opportunities to grow. It's not just about the next few years. It's about building a foundation for life. It's when a class discussion sparks a passion you never knew you had. It's finding your voice in the arts, your strength on the field, or your confidence in the lab. It's when academic excellence meets character development, creating a path uniquely your own. It's the smile from a teacher who believes in you, the friend who becomes family, and the moments you discover what truly drives you. It's giggles on the playground, all school spirit days, lunchtime gatherings on the green, and aha moments on our beautiful 800-acre campus. It's that feeling of belonging you can only describe as home.
Since 1921, St. Vincent Pallotti High School has offered a Catholic college preparatory education. With a small and supportive school environment, students enjoy a wide range of learning opportunities in academics, athletics, performing arts, and extracurricular activities. With several new additions, including an auxiliary gym, 3 additional classrooms, and a turf practice field, we strive to provide our students with the resources and facilities to achieve their full potential.
What's unique about Pallotti is that we are a close-knit, faith-filled community.
We have a very hands-on learning environment, so the kids have a lot of opportunities outside of the classroom that are still educational.
Pallotti has helped me on my educational journey by providing me with great teachers, great resources, and a community that supports me in anything I aspire to do.
It feels like you're really part of a family. The spread of classes, extracurriculars, and sports is that of a larger school.
And we welcome you back to Whittles Field for the second half of the MIAA B Conference Championship game. Pilati looking for title number 3. St. Paul's looking for title number 7. And it's going to be a low roller here to start this second half, and it's a smart play there by Liam Barganski just to fall on top of it. Better safe than sorry there, Jordan.
No doubt, and Barganski, obviously, a guy that's been all over the field on defense for St. Paul's, leading to that shutout of the Pilati offense. But now St. Paul's back on offense themselves after a costly turnover right there at the end of the first half. And a back-and-forth kind of game. Obviously, a lot of that due to penalties and miscues as well. But it'll be interesting to see in the second half both of these teams how they come out early on.
St. Paul's looking for a little bit more cushion. I don't think 7 is enough to beat Pilati. Up the middle on the first play there goes Landon Blue, who has the game's only touchdown. It was a short run after a muffed punt by Kareem Fisher.
What do you say? You don't think 7's enough to beat Pilati? The last time these two teams played, it was only 1. Right. So
27-26 was the final for that one. St. Paul's has not lost since their first game of the season.
This game certainly has that feel like it could come down to the last possession.
Absolutely. Livingston hands it off. Up the middle goes West. He's going to run right into Siku Davis, who will pull him down just past the 40.
I think they have to keep feeding West. They got him involved early on in the first half, but then their offense slowed down as they started to abandon that run a little bit. Love to see them keep it on the ground a little bit more here in the second half.
They're down in around 5 here for St. Paul's men. What a tone setter this would be if Pilati can come out and get a stop.
Yeah, especially after some of the miscues in the end of the first half. Getting a big stop here on defense would be huge.
Livingston fires far side. It's caught by West. He's got a first down and more. Cuts it back inside, and he is across the 40. A huge play on third down. St. Paul's will stay on the field.
We'll get the guy that's been playing the best football out in space, and he's going to make another play. Lamar West had a good first half and obviously continuing to feed on the ball here in the second half. Good start for this St. Paul's offense.
So St. Paul's lining back up. New set of downs. They are just inside the 40-yard line. Looking to lead by more than one score. Man in motion is Blue. They'll pitch it to him. Landon Blue near side just runs right into Kamal Fisher, who drags him down.
Like the play design there from St. Paul's, but that Pilati defensive line, see ball, play ball, is all over it.
Nice play there by the talented Kamal Fisher. And that's actually going to be a bit of a loss of maybe half a yard here for St. Paul's. 5 receivers at wide here are Cooper. Bryson Clark is in there along with Angelo Bartlett and Blue. Livingston going to pick one of them here. If not, he's got to run, and he will take off. Livingston showing his speed as he gets across the 35-yard line. This kid, he's a real athlete. He's an outfielder. He's headed to Maryland to play for the Dirty Terps.
And better decision-making there from Livingston. We saw him. There's some dangerous passes in the first half. This time sees the open lane, elects to keep it on the ground there. Smart play from the senior quarterback.
And again, Pilati, they've got a lot of athletes here on the defensive side of the ball. Sometimes you're going to have to make it happen with your legs if the receivers are blanketed, which they were there.
No doubt.
So 2 backs here for Livingston. It's Blue and West. Livingston is going to try to cut it back and keep it. He will just, I think, get enough for a first down. The refs, let's see their decision. It might be short by inches. And they will say that's a stop for Pilati. So fourth down and 1.
Good adjustment by Pilati after that last run. Sort of put a spy on it, on Livingston, and then that D-line was ready when he cut back inside.
St. Paul's keeping the offense out there. They need about half a yard to keep this drive going.
I'd keep it on the ground here with West.
That's exactly what they do. And West has a first down and more. West breaks tackles, gets a block, and scores for St. Paul's. What a block downfield by Bryson Clark to free him. And it's 13-0 Crusaders.
It was that block by Clark, as you mentioned, Tyler, that set that all up. You're the money down, fourth down. Who do you give it to? You give it to your best guy, West. He's been making plays all game, and he's finally rewarded with the score. And that one's huge to go up 2 scores for St. Paul's.
It was 4th and an inch, and he got a mile. His 10th total touchdown this year, and the extra point is good. It's 14-0 St. Paul's. Let's take another look.
Again, West is having that first down regardless, but it's the block by Clark to open up just that little bit of a lane for West to finish that off in the end zone.
What a run from number 5. And now the pressure, Jordan, it's really on
now
for the Panthers.
Yeah, now you've Pilati, you've kept the ball on the ground most of this game. You have to take your chances throwing the ball, and it's going to be tough against these St. Paul's DBs. Obviously, it's kind of been 50-50, right? You've had your fair share of success, but you also had the offensive PI in the first half as well.
Austin Daniel is set to put this away. Expect another short kick to avoid Fisher. It's exactly what they get. Takes a weird bounce. It's going to be fielded by Brady, and he is brought down just shy of the 40. Good coverage there by St. Paul's.
Yeah, Hayden Myers said, "You're not going anywhere." But more importantly, good awareness from Pilati just to keep that ball. As we saw in that first half, with that ball takes some weird bounces, it can get away from you a little bit. So good on the Pilati hands team to make sure they kept the ball there.
But it's pretty incredible that St. Paul's is willing to concede nearly 20 yards on every kickoff just to avoid number 1 Kareem Fisher.
But they've done it. Their defense hasn't let them down so far.
Right. Despite Pilati running plenty of plays in their territory, they still have not broken. Up the middle there, the run from Mason Glasgow. He gets shoved around. It's going to be a gain of a few there on first down.
It starts with that D-line there. It was Johnny Miles making the play there, but we saw them in the first half get to this Pilati run game. Now down by 2 scores. If you're Pilati, you're going to have to start to air this thing out a little bit.
So second down, and looks like it's around 7 yards here for the Panthers. St. Paul's making noise. Brookings drops back. He's going to look to throw far side, and Kareem Fisher's got it to move the chains. finally a big play for number 1.
Finally got the ball over to Kareem Fisher there. It was blue late. I don't think he realized that was his matchup. Just a little bit too late there on blue, and good play by Fisher.
So now for Pilati, a new set of downs here for the Panthers. Need to get to about the 38-yard line. Brookings is going to hand it off. That is Patterson running it up the middle. And again, if you're Pilati, you really want to stay in front of the sticks there. That's going to be a gain of 3.
Again, not a bad run on first down. Again, as you mentioned, Tyler, stay ahead of the chains.
St. Paul's definitely in the driver's seat. They would love to get a stop here, get the ball back, and start to really think about hanging on. A little bit of a trickery play here as the give is to Fisher on the end around, but he cut right up in the middle and was met immediately by this St. Paul's D-line.
Yeah, Neil Keenan's team has been focused on Fisher all week. So even when you try a trick play there, that you see the ball in number 1's hands, you're going right to him immediately. And now a big third down here for both sides.
Just under 6 minutes to go. 3rd down and 8 here for the Panthers. Firing over the far side is Brookings. His pass is going to be caught by Bodie, who's going to move the chains. This clutch Pilati offense picking up first downs when they really need it on this drive.
Nice little third down call, get your running back out in space. Almost had a tip there on the St. Paul's defense, but if you're Pilati, you like that play call, getting your running back out with a chance to gain some yardage, and they did just that.
And again, Jordan, I think you got to give some credit here to the Panthers. They don't seem to be panicking. They're down by 14, but they know they've got talent, and they know they've got some time here to work with.
Business as usual, nothing crazy. They've been playing to their game plan so far.
Brookings drops back. Pressure comes. He's going to spin around far side. Now throw at the last second. Maybe could have gotten some yards there on the ground. Instead, he tried to force it to Jaden Patterson where it falls at his feet.
Yeah, I'm shocked he didn't just take that himself there.
Oh, here's going to be a penalty on St. Paul's.
Flag on the field.
Let's see what the call is. Man, a personal foul. That's
must have been something
killer.
Downfield. And that's huge for Pilati. Good number first down here. This is a drive they have to convert. And that's not going to help.
Yep, a false start is going to move Pilati back after the personal foul gave them really good field position. And again, you think about how many times today Jordan Pilati have moved the ball into St. Paul's territory. There's still a 0 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and it's been in part because of the penalties. So obviously you want to clean that up. But it only takes one play at the end of the day.
Shahad Mason Glasgow is the back. He's going to try to find some room outside, but he's tripped up by big Rashad Jones, who has had a real impact on this game on the D-line.
It's been a big day for Big 65 there, and was right there as Pilati tried to make the second effort on that run.
Again, he's had a few big TFLs, also had that penalty, but He's really trying to make up for it, and plays like that will certainly help him do that.
That's a kid that just plays to the end of the whistle.
So that really backs up this Pilati team. They had the ball inside the 25. Now they've got it at the 27 after the penalty and the nice tackle. Brookings looking for anybody to get open. Now he's going to fire it. Intercepted! Stepping in front was Vargansky, and he's going to take it across the 40. Third pick of the game for St. Paul's.
Those DBs held up well. You force Brookins out of the pocket, dangerous throw, and then it's all Bargansky there to finish it off. And that's huge for St. Paul's. Again, give their secondary credit for holding up. Then they finish right there at the end. It's not a great throw if you're Bargansky. You're better off just going out of bounds and getting yourself another chance to live. And now with the turnover here, St. Paul's has got a chance to go up by 3 scores.
What a huge play. St. Paul's with another stop on their own side of the field, and now Lamar West pushes forward.
When you have 2-score lead and you're able to run the ball, that's huge. In the second half, you can run the ball down to your opponent's throat. And you look back at what's made the difference in this game, turnovers and penalties.
Handoff is going to go up the middle for West again, and he's going to be dragged down.
But you want your defense to make turnovers so you can do that, and that's keep feeding your best guy in West.
And I know I mentioned this earlier in the first half, Jordan, but that's another helmet falling off for Pilati. It's happened all game long, and again,
it costs your players a play.
Lewis Matthews has to miss a play now.
And on third down at that, guy. It's been in the backfield a ton throughout this game.
Livingston drops back to pass, throws it over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Cooper. Broken up by Zion Graham. St. Paul's it's not going to come, and that's a fourth down forced by the Pilati defense.
Yeah, interesting call there on third down, going through the middle there. And I understand you want to feed your guy in Cooper, but that was a little bit of a dangerous throw there through the middle of that Pilati defense, and a good stand for them, getting the ball right back after the turnover.
Kareem Fisher is back deep. Snap, but Howdy Calhoun gets it away. It takes a bounce, and this time Fisher's going to leave it, and that's going to roll all the way down to the 3. What a punt for Howdy Calhoun, throwing a dart, and Pilati's all the way backed up.
Game-changing punt, getting Pilati down in their own territory. Again, Pilati probably feels lucky just to even have the football there. That could have been dangerous in many ways on the bouncer of a punt. So on the other hand, you don't like that you're deep in your own territory, but you say, hey, that could have been a lot more dangerous there if you're Pilati. Great special teams there by St. Paul's.
They're going to officially mark it down at the 2-yard line. Pilati's going to have to go 98 yards. And again, it's worth noting, remember, Fisher let the last one bounce. It hit his leg. That set up the first touchdown of this game. This time he just lets it roll past him, and that has really cost Pilati.
The first order of business for Pilati is getting out of this deep territory, but going up against the St. Paul's D-line, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be a handoff here to the fullback, and it's a great run to get a little bit of room. Oh, excuse me, that's an offensive lineman. That's Christian McClear Irons. That's his third run of the year at 5 yards and a touchdown coming in. And big number 78 pushing the pile, and that's one way to get out of the shadow of your own end zone.
It's a creative way to do that at that.
There is
he's
big
in the
number
backfield
78.
again.
Yeah. Look out when the train's coming down the tracks. They give it to him again. And look at him rumble. Impossible to bring him down. He's got a first down.
That's huge.
How do you stop this guy? Oh, man.
Hey, you got to get creative, right? Desperate times call for desperate measures. Why not give it to your big O lineman? You got to get out of your own territory. If he can get it done, which he has, why not feed the beast? And he's in the backfield once again.
If it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Is it a third time in a row? Yes,
Yep.
it is. But this time, St. Paul's do a better job. It's still a gain of 2.
Short gain. Second down.
It's got to be demoralizing, though, to see him line up in the backfield knowing, all right, we got to find a way to bring him down.
No doubt. Finally, St. Paul's D-line figured out that after 3 plays that you might want to stop that guy.
They went from the 2 all the way up to the 15. Finding big number 78.
It's a creative way to get out of your own territory.
And you said that's the first order of business in that situation. Just get away from your own goal line.
Now you've opened things up a little bit.
This time they fake it to him, give it to Bodie instead. He cuts into the middle. It's going to take 3 guys to bring him down. He gets across the 20.
Bodie's down. Oh, he has to go out for any extended period of time. That's a big loss for Pilati.
He's far and away the leading rusher on this team, and he's down. That's going to stop the clock with 40 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Again, there is still time here for St. Vincent Pilati, Jordan, but they got to be efficient.
No doubt. You got to start to air this thing out a little bit. Understanding that this is a short clock. These quarters fly by here in the MIAA.
And especially because once St. Paul's gets the ball back, you better believe they're going to try to run it. That's Bodie over on the sideline, getting some help from the trainers. Good to see him walking off the field, and now the clock has started up again. 3rd down and 1 here for Pilati. They're going to give it to the big fella. He's going to try to dive forward, and I don't think he got it. McClear Irons is stopped about a yard short.
This almost feels like a situation, you see Pilati's offense out there. You almost feel like they have to go for it down by 2 scores.
I don't think Pilati is going to get a snap off before this quarter is over. You might as well just take the time to think about it. It's exactly what they will do. Big 4th down coming up for Pilati when we come back.
Since 1921, St. Vincent Pilati High School has offered a Catholic college preparatory education. With a small and supportive school environment, students enjoy a wide range of learning opportunities in academics, athletics, performing arts, and extracurricular activities. With several new additions, including an auxiliary gym, 3 additional classrooms, and a turf practice field, we strive to provide our students with the resources and facilities to achieve their full potential.
What's unique about Pilati is that we are a close-knit, faith-filled community.
We have a very hands-on learning environment, so the kids have a lot of opportunities outside of the classroom that are still educational.
Pilati has helped me on my educational journey by providing me with great teachers, great resources, and a community that supports me in anything I aspire to do.
It feels like you're really part of a family. The spread of classes, extracurriculars, and sports is that of a larger school.
Welcome back here to Whittles Field in Severn, Maryland. Huge 4th down coming up here for Pilati. There's their dance team down on the track. It is a packed house here for game 1 of our championship doubleheader. Look out for McClear Irons. The big fella is in the backfield here again. Pilati need a yard. McClear-Irons gets it. The push from behind. He leans forward. He has the first down.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's his 5th carry on the drive. This guy starts on the line.
None bigger than that one on 4th down.
Wow. They're getting clever with it. It's the championship game. You've got to throw everything you have.
Right. You can empty out the playbook now.
No need to hold on to any of your cards tonight. Are they going to line them up back there again? Yes, they will. St. Paul's fans making noise. This time it's a pass for Brookings. Near side, incomplete. He wanted Kareem Fisher.
Again, that matchup between Fisher and Blue. This time, advantage Blue.
That's going to bring up 2nd down and 10. Again, for Pilati, Jordan, you just think about how many times they've had the football down, and St. Paul's half of the field, they just have not been able to put it together. They've got so much talent. They've been getting clever in this game, but
down by
not
2
been able
scores. It feels like a do-or-die type of drive.
Yep. They've got McClear-Irons in the backfield here again. He's 5 carries on this drive. Handoff instead is going to go here to Brady. Brady cuts to the outside. He is going to get to around the 30-yard line, and that's going to set up 3rd and manageable here for the Panthers.
Well, if there's one guy you're not fooling there on the fake, it's Liam Barganski, who once again finds himself in the backfield for this St. Paul's defense and setting up a big 3rd down.
Pilati 7-5 on the season. Demolition of Boys Land to get to this point. Trying to find something on the board here. Time continuing to tick. 3rd down and 4 here for Pilati. Whistle is going to go, and I think that might be a delay of game. Wow. That is a killer in that situation. That's going to turn a 3rd and very makeable 4 into a very tough 3rd and 9.
It's been the penalties for Pilati that have been very costly. And again, as you hear the St. Paul students that's saying, you can't do that. Yeah, especially with 10:22 left in the 4th quarter. It's definitely when you can't do that.
Brookings takes the snap, fires far side, pass is caught, and with more is Fisher pushed out of bounds after he gets enough to move the chains.
Biggest throw of the game right there, Kamal Fisher. Get him out on the outside, feed the big man, and he just turns and makes a play. And then the push from Cole, getting them even some extra yardage there. That was a big 3rd down conversion there for Pilati.
They find a way to just keep this drive moving. 10-11 left to go in this game. Pilati need 2 scores. Three men in the backfield. Handoff goes to Bodie. Good to see him back in the game after the injury. He takes a big hit, but gets a solid gain on 1st down.
Again, Tyler, you have to wonder. Obviously, Pilati wants to keep this thing on the ground as much as possible, but at some point, you've got to be efficient and start to air this thing out down by 2 scores. Understanding that when St. Paul's gets the ball back, whenever that may be, they're going to want to try and play ball control in the clock game themselves. So you have to wonder when the urgency is going to have to start to get a little bit higher for this Pilati offense.
Yeah, they've really been slow in between plays, using the whole play clock. Brookings looking to pass. Far side, he's going to toss it downfield and out of play. The only receiver anywhere near that was Cogdell, who was cutting in. That pass went out, and now it's going to be 3rd down and 7.
Good initial penetration there from St. Paul's D-line, forcing Brookins out of the pocket there. Just broken play, smart throw out of bounds. You hear even the Pilati fan section saying, hurry up. I think I agree with them. You got to have a little bit more urgency here.
Well, the clock is stopped, but you cannot have a delay of game. They need 7 yards. Brookings fires, far side, pass is caught, and that's going to be enough for a first down. Mason Glasgow dives to move the chains. That stops the clock at 9:09.
You're getting your big guys out in space there on some favorable matchups.
Oh, excuse me. That is Foster Anderson, defensive player coming in for a snap there.
Great play design there on third down.
All hands on deck. Handoff goes to Bodie. He tries to get around, but he is dragged down by Lamar West.
Lamar West coming from that safety spot. Stays with it to finish off the play. And somebody's down for St. Paul's.
Yep, clock is stopped. That is Johnny Miles who is down. Miles again. He's the one that has some FCS offers. Howard Monmouth, among others. He plays both sides of the ball in the trenches, and he has the trainers looking after him. So second down and 11 coming up here, Jordan, for Pilati.
Yeah, you don't like the injury for St. Paul's, but a much needed break for this defense. It's been pushed around a little bit on this drive. On the other hand, if you're Pilati, you get some time to think about it, and obviously you've had some success keeping this ball on the ground as well as in the quick passing game. Kind of would keep that foot on the gas with the quick passing game if I were Pilati.
Johnny Miles, the senior, is still down. Here for St. Paul's. Now good to see him be helped up to his feet. Again, a reminder, this is not the end of the action here today on Hype Time Sports. We've got the A-Conference final after this game that started around 7 p.m. McDonough and Spalding, two heavyweights going at it.
That'll be a good matchup. Two teams that
played a tough game earlier in the year
dating
up
back,
in Owings Mills.
Dating back to 2019, Spalding has lost just 4 games to teams in the state of Maryland. 3 of them have been to McDonough.
That'll be a fun one later on.
Yeah, that's a big one. But first, we got to take care of business here. 14-0 lead for St. Paul's. Pilati with the ball driving. Brookings dropping back. He's going to look for the home run. Once Kamal Fisher, and it's just out of reach for number 12.
This is a solid throw there by Brookings, allowing his receiver to go get to it. Unfortunately, just on the hit on the fingertips.
That was a risky call, though, at second down and 11 to take that shot.
Well, you figured at some point they were going to have to start to open up this passing game down by 2 scores. They also, again, you're also playing against the clock, too. Down by not just 1 but 2 scores.
Sun starting to set here in Severn. St. Paul's fans making noise. They'd love a third down stop. Pilati needs 10 yards. Number 10, Brookings, dances around, and he is swallowed up. It's a big-time sack for Bobby Cunningham, and it's 4th down and long.
The St. Paul's D-line has been making plays all day. It's usually been in the run game. This time it's on the pass play on third down. None was bigger than that. The biggest play of the game here on 4th down. Obviously, you have to go for it down by 2 scores if you're Pilati. This is the biggest play of the game right here. Really, think about it. In essence, down by 2 scores, essentially for your season right here.
And that clock continues to wind down. 4th down and 13 timeout called by Pilati, who are going to think about this.
Yeah, you understand the stakes here. Down by 2 scores.
That's still not a timeout you want to use.
You don't want to use it, but you understand it. What do you draw up in the biggest play of your season? And understand wanting to think twice about that.
And again, if St. Paul's can find a stop here, they will really be in control. This is a St. Paul's team that's been able to run the ball all game long. They've hit a few big passes when they've needed it.
And this is a St. Paul's defense that's played stout and really on the money downs at that. Saw them with the big sack on 3rd down. We've seen them give these Pilati receivers fits, especially in the deep passing game on the outside. None bigger than this 4th down here, Tyler.
Fourth and 13. Huge play here in the B-Conference Championship game. Brookings drops back. Pressure comes. Brookings is going to look to keep it. Cuts inside. He got pulled down. Is that a horse collar? Refs are going to say no. That's a stop for St. Paul's.
Interesting call there. First, how about this St. Paul's D-line?
That is a horse collar.
Ooh. That's an interesting no call. You see the refs discussing it. Everyone in the stadium is getting a look at this replay.
That's brutal for Pilati.
Ooh, that is a very interesting no call.
That would have been a first down, and instead.
But give St. Paul's defense the credit. They held up, the DBs held up, gave nowhere for Brookings to throw. So at that point, all he can do is take off, and the D-line was swarming him right there. They got the job done. That's a huge break if you're Pilati there.
So now if you're St. Paul's, you just got to try to control possession here. Burn as much time as you can. The handoff goes to West. He is swallowed up. Immediately met and brought down. A great tackle there by Sekou Davis getting into the backfield.
Yeah, now if you're Pilati, you have to start to get creative when you start calling timeouts there. Obviously, not on first, but here on 2nd and potentially 3rd down, you start to go into clock preservation mode.
Second down and 10 here for the Crusaders. As the sun starts to set here in 7th. Handoff is going to go to West, breaks the tackle, tries to spin away from another, but that's a really good job there by Dylan Johnson to pull him down.
And good play by West to keep those legs churning as well, setting up a big 3rd down here. Your St. Paul's, you're close enough if you want to keep this on the ground. You certainly can. I don't know how much you'd risk it, especially here on 3rd down. You have a 2-score lead. I might keep this thing on the ground, take your chances with West.
West is in the backfield alongside Livingston. St. Paul's need 5 yards. Handoff goes to West. Whistle will go. He got tackled right at the 40, but it's not going to matter. It was a false start.
False start. Offense.
So that's going to move St. Paul's back 5 yards.
That's not the worst thing in the world if you're St. Paul's, because
right.
the time came off the clock by the time the penalty got called.
The time came off the clock and you got stopped. So St. Paul's essentially gets a do-over. However, they're backed up 5 yards and the clock is stopped.
A little bit of an RPO. Wouldn't be shocked if they ran one here. Let Livingston read this D-line. Try and make a quick decision.
Third down and 10. Huge opportunity here for Pilati to get a stop. Livingston keeps it, fires, pass is knocked away, but a flag comes in. And that's going to be on Pilati. That's
Wow.
going to move the chains.
Wow. First, I was going to give the St. Paul's receiving corps credit because even after the initial tip, Angelo Bartlett had a chance. He missed it. And wow, that's a big call on third down. Against Pilati, you're keeping the St. Paul's offense on the field. Interesting call here. It's one of those things you're kind of hoping it doesn't come down to the penalties in the big moments. But nevertheless, it's a tough break for Pilati and a huge one for St. Paul's.
So that's a new set of downs here for the Crusaders, looking for their first title since 2013. Pilati last won it in 2019. Handoff goes up the middle. That's West with a strong run. And he's really put St. Paul's ahead of the chains down.
And he talked about, how we talked about feeding him early in the first half. This is why. You get a guy like him going in the fourth quarter where you need to play ball control offense is huge. And now this clock is going to stop after the Pilati injury.
Yeah, an injured Panther stops the clock at 5:31 to go. Beautiful night here in Severn with the sun setting. Nice 55 degrees.
Football weather.
Absolutely.
And that's tough there. Joseph Williams up to his feet for Pilati.
So 5:31 to go. It's going to be second down and 2. Here for the Crusaders, who are looking to put this game away with a long drive here.
Yeah, you're essentially playing 4-minute offense here. Just trying to be methodical here. Don't get too aggressive. Don't get too cute. And if you're Pilati, you're doing whatever you can to try and poke that ball out, force a turnover, give yourself another chance.
St. Paul's are in no rush. Half's going to go to West up the middle. He's going to be swallowed up short for no gain, and now it's going to be third down and 3. Actually lost a yard.
Again, wouldn't be shocked if you saw another quarterback type rollout here for Livingston. Put him in a spot where he's got sort of short option or a chance for him to take off and run. Don't want to get too dangerous, but if you're Pilati, you're just licking your chops here trying to get a chance at either a pick or a fumble.
St. Paul's would be in great shape if they could move the chains here. And now timeout's going to be called here to talk it over. This is a huge play, and St. Paul certainly is going to use this opportunity to make sure they get it right.
Want to get an initial look at that front, see how they were set up. They were prepared for a heavy run. But obviously, with the timeout here, a chance to think over your strategy a little bit. Yeah, this is a St. Paul's team. We talked about it earlier. Only one loss on the year, and it was in the non-conference. When these two teams played earlier, it was a 1-point game. St. Paul's team that did not have their quarterback last week and played very well at that against John Carroll. And a big third down here, Tyler.
4 of 5 to go in the ball game. St. Paul's need 3 yards to keep this drive moving. Handoff goes to West. He is swallowed up, and Pilati get their stop.
Huge play for this Pilati D-line. And the St. Paul's fans that student section saying go for it. And it looks like they're going to keep their offense out here on 4th down. Wow. Biggest one.
Or at least maybe just try to get them to jump. So 14-0 lead here for St. Paul's. And again, the offense is still out there. They might just try to take a delay a game. Maybe punt it away after that. And now a flag is going to go for delay a game. They didn't hurry up to the line, so they just kind of took it. They didn't even try to get them to jump.
Well, if you're Pilates, you got the job done on 3rd down, most importantly. And now you're going to get the ball roughly with 3 minutes left. 3 minutes, potentially go get a score, go get an onside kick.
Yeah, Pilates got 2 timeouts and 3:09. Punt gets away. Kareem Fisher dropped it again, and St. Paul's have it. And Fisher has muffed his 2nd punt of the ball game, and that should just about do it.
That's tough. You're Kareem Fisher. You've had such a good year. The do-it-all guy for this Pilates team. That's a tough way to finish.
Kareem Fisher had
just got away from
50-plus punt return yards, over 300 kick return yards, over 1,000 receiving yards. This guy was everywhere all year long, and there's a reason why Neil Keenan said he is as good as it gets in the B Conference. But
that's
a 2nd muffed punt and a touchdown wiped off the board for a pass interference penalty. It just has not been number 1's day. And St. Paul's can really feel it now. They hand off to West. He is going to be swallowed up. Again, Pilates just have 2 timeouts left.
Give this D-line credit for the way they played the run on this drive, but just a little too late here.
Give credit as well to Carson Hiltner. He is the player that recovered that muffed punt to essentially deliver St. Paul's their 7th MIAA championship.
It's a tough way to go out for Fisher, though.
Handoff is going to go to West, near side. West is going to be dragged down by Fisher. And now a timeout's going to be called by Pilates.
You see Fisher still playing hard there.
There is the tackle by Kareem Fisher.
And then a big 3rd down here for your St. Paul's. Again, don't necessarily feel the need to throw it this close. You might just keep the ball on the ground, give yourself a chance on 4th down, keep that clock rolling at this point.
Pilates have not been held scoreless in a single game this year, and the offense stalling at the worst time.
Yeah, this is a tough last drive, especially with the penalties. Pilates fans might look at that and say some of those were 50-50 calls, but nevertheless, it was really the turnovers as well that were killer for Pilates. 3 interceptions on the day is just not going to get it done.
Third down and 11. Handoff goes to West again. He's going to cut up the middle, and he's going to get down to around the 15-yard line. He's going to bring up 4th down and around 5.
Be interesting to see your St. Paul's here take this clock down.
Does St. Paul's maybe try a field
goal?
Goal?
That's what I say. Yeah, right. You say take this clock down, put your field goal unit out there, potentially go up by 3 scores, eliminate pretty much any small chance that Pilates would have.
Continues to wind down.
Might just be trying to get
And that's going to be a delay of game.
Yeah.
Again, it's tough. There's not a play clock in either of the end zones. So I guess if you're St. Paul's, if you really want to use the whole clock, you just kind of have to take a delay game at this point. And it looks like the offense is going to stay out on the field.
It's your defense that pitched a shutout. So you certainly have confidence.
Livingston drops back. He's firing to the end zone, and it's incomplete. So Pilati will get the football back, but
it's going to be
with
tough.
no timeouts and 44 seconds left, you're in miracle territory here for the Panthers.
Again, you're looking at both Fishers and even potentially just trying to draw penalties to get this thing moved quick.
Just a brutal end of the season here for Pilati, where the guy that really got them here, and Kareem Fisher, has just had a rough day.
Give Tony Ashley's team all the credit in the world. Had some early season bumps in the road, but really came back and beat conference play.
Brookings fires it over to the near side. The pass is going to be caught for a first down by Braxton Brady. That stops the clock at 37 seconds to go. Or excuse me, Pilati did have one more timeout. They're going to call it now. The clock already stopped, though, because of the first down. So if you hurried up to the line and spiked it, you could have saved the timeout. Again, you're really in miracle territory here, so.
Regardless, if you're St. Paul's, you just want to keep everything in front of you at this point. Nothing deep. You'll give up the short and intermediate routes. Just can't let things get behind you.
St. Paul's players gathered around the 50. They are ready to go and celebrate. Handshakes will come first, and then the team picture with the banner reading B Conference Champions. Brookings drops back to pass. He's going to throw it. Pass is caught by Kareem Fisher, and Fisher is trying to keep his legs churning. He gets down to the 40.
Again, if you're St. Paul's, you'll take this. Ball is inbounds. Obviously, if you're Pilati, you just want to keep giving yourself a chance.
Brookings looking over near side. Pass is caught by Fisher.
But
he
is
inbounds. Going to be brought down. However, it is a first down, so that will stop the clock at 17 seconds. Ref is going to try to put the football down. That's going to start the clock. Brookings. It's got to go to the end zone now. Brookings is going to run. And Brookings is going to run out of bounds. That stops the clock. Just 7 seconds left, and now a flag is going to fly. Refs are going to discuss here with just 7 seconds left. By the way, on this drive, that pushed Kareem Fisher to over 1,100 receiving yards on the year. He is crouched away from his teammates. You got to feel for number 1 in white.
Yeah. Just a tough way to end things on the muff punt. You got the holding calls coming back. A tough ending for this Pilati team, but again, give them all the credit in the world. The team that had their bumps in the road early on in the season was able to rattle off 5 straight to get to this point. Just not their day here today.
Final snap of this game. Brookings dancing around, Still looking downfield. He's just going to fire it to the end zone. And it's incomplete. St. Paul's are MIAA B Conference champions for the first time since 2013.
Congratulations to Neil Keenan getting his team back to the promised land. They executed their game plan to a T. Well done. Again, only one loss on the year. It was in the non-conference. They were pretty much able to coast from there and got it done when they needed it most here on Championship Saturday.
It's a 10-win season for Coach Neil Keenan and his team full of seniors. What a way to go out. They lost their first game of the year and then did not look back, Jordan.
Yeah, coming into the postseason, you knew that St. Paul's was the big dogs of the B Conference. There was going to be really, could anybody test them? Obviously, this Pilati team gave them all they got. John Carroll was well in the semifinal, played them well. But at the end of the day, it was the top-seeded Crusaders coming out on top and winning the B Conference.
And they will go and celebrate with their fans. It's a great night to be a Crusader. And again, they are the first team to shut out the Panthers all season long. They've done it when it matters most. How about this defense today, Jordan, for the Crusaders?
The defensive linemen were everywhere. They did a great job at stopping this Pilati run, and the DBs made plays when it mattered the most. It wasn't a ton of passing from this Pilati team, but they made the turnovers when it was necessary.
Congratulations to Tony Ashley and Pilati on a great season. They did it the hard way. They really finished strong, Jordan, as you said, to get to this point. But today, things just did not go their way.
Yeah, 5 straight to get to this point, including a beatdown of Boys Latin last week. But tonight just wasn't their night. But still a great season at that, and you'll know they'll come out strong next year.
So again, for Pilati, a great year. They finished second place to the B Conference. St. Paul's are ready to receive their trophy. So the captains will collect the plaque, and they will lift it high. That's Johnny Miles holding it in his hands as St. Paul's are the first champions of the day. And what a performance, Jordan. They really capitalized on Pilati's mistakes. Pilati gave them an inch, and like I said, they really took a mile.
No doubt took advantage of the turnovers, some costly mistakes on special teams, and at the end of the day, that makes a difference in games, and they were able to finish us off with the championship.
That will do it for Game 1 here tonight, but we've still got the main event coming. It's the A Conference Championship game. It's McDonough and Spalding here at 7 on Hype Time Sports. It's going to do it for us. Until then, for Jordan Johnson, for Paul Garza, I am Tyler Lochte. We'll see you later tonight for the finale.